Well, here we are. It's Thursday. It's the 9th day of July for 2020. And I have always said, for me, as a person who gets up very early in the morning, this is the hardest day of the week. We always jokingly, for 20 years now, have referred to Thursday as the fourth Monday of the week. Sometimes, you're on the edge. It's kind of like, it could also be Thursday Eve, if you will, or Friday Eve, weekend. But today it's a fourth Monday. But I'm just going to leave it at that. It's also another one of those days, as we have said from the beginning, that we would do these at-home updates is based on the amount of time. I have a 10 o'clock that I have to be at. It's 9:38. So that kind of gives you an idea. Excuse me. I know we're not supposed to do that, right? This is my new, I've adopted the sleeve thing when I have that need that I just have to, but probably even shouldn't do that. But anyway, I just wanted to take a couple of minutes. I don't want to leave you in a lurch. I don't want to not be here when I said that I would yesterday. So it's going to be pretty succinct and quick and just kind of give you an overview of what's going on this morning. By the way, I'm Dan Gresham. This is my house, my corner of the world. Glad to be sharing it with you this morning. If you want to jump in, give us a shout out this morning. Appreciate it. If you want to just kind of ask a question, if I don't do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. And when I have a little bit more time and take some time to do it. So let's jump right in this morning. One of the first things that we need to do is check out what's happening at kfdm.com. As always, this is a great place to start. If you're getting up this morning, you've missed everything that's gone on because it's a good catch up. There are things that you can go here and probably see that you may not have seen. And again, the point is staying local, trying to keep things that really affect you in Southeast Texas. And we can start with, I will tell you this, and I don't think we necessarily have it as a headline here, but yesterday, another record-setting day in Southeast Texas as far as positive test returns, more than 350. And again, that's not just Jefferson County, that's not just Hardin County, Orange County, that's 8 counties. But as best I can count, more than 350. And we had more than 140 people hospitalized with COVID-19 related issues. All right, so that just kind of gives you a starting point. Now, you can go and jump in if you want to. You can find out about, this is an interesting story right here, talking about teachers and guidelines from the TEA. I mentioned it yesterday. How are we going to do this? Who's going to do this? Do you want your kids to go to school? Are parents going to have the option of whether a child goes and attends in class or online? And you probably have heard that the Trump administration is pushing very hard and believes that kids should be in class. And I'll tell you something else. If you go read and do a little bit of homework, you'll find out that pediatricians across this country are also on board with the idea. And you'd have to think in places where you're not a hot spot, that you're not having, huge spikes, that maybe it makes sense. But does it make sense in areas which are seeing upticks, major upticks, that they would have in-person classes? And then, of course, the onus really also falls on those who have to do the teaching and those that have to do the administrating and the staff that has to work with them. Because while kids are not necessarily as susceptible to this virus, they can be carriers and or spreaders. And of course, they can bring it home to mom and dad. They can bring it, the staff can also be exposed to them as well. So you might want to go and read that story. Another story of interest, I think, is this research about the link between blood type and the body's response to COVID-19, that we don't all react and our bodies don't react the same way, depending on whether you're A or B or O. And you can go in and see what it says about that. Also, you can go and check on what's happening. Southeast Texas health officials using contact tracing, but it ain't easy. And it's not going very fast. And they're struggling quite a bit especially from in Mid-County, as we talked to the folks there in Port Arthur, that it's become a major issue just recruiting people to help them track people down in all the various communities. So again, I'm sorry for the brevity, but I just wanted to get a chance to kind of throw some things out at you this morning. The other thing I want to show you, while I don't have the numbers written down, remember, this is something that we can all go to. This is provided by Texas Health and Human Services. They call it a dashboard because it gives you an instant look at what's going on. They have it for testing. This is total test reporting, and you can see the curve is good for testing. Every day, the number of tests continues to go up. But when you go to statewide hospitals, unfortunately, so do the number of hospitalizations. So yesterday, you had more than 9,500 people that were hospitalized across the state of Texas. You can also go in and see the regional responses, how people are. We are in the corner of Southeast Texas. We are Region R, where you can see this is the news that a lot of people are concerned about. There is one intensive care unit, a bed available in the entire region. One. Now, they can do surge where they can make some other beds, but as far as permanent ICU beds, there's only one available that's out there. All right. I'm sorry. I'm constantly looking at time and looking at what we're doing and trying to make sure that I get all this in. So you go do your homework today. Educate yourself. As we always say, you're the only one that can determine what it is, where you're going to start, and what you're going to do, and what you need to look at, and what are the information that you need. I do want to give a couple of shout outs this morning because I always enjoy reading them. I enjoy reading all of your comments. I love this one. Diana Jones says, I am so over 2020. Believe me, I'm not only so over 2020, I'm so over Thursday already, and it's 9:45 in the morning, and I'm already so over it. Couple of others. Deborah Tarver knows what I'm talking about this morning. She's got a Zoom meeting at 10, so she knows the pressure that I'm feeling to get things done so that I can deal with that as well. Let's check on some outer-towners this morning. Mary Ellen watching from Florida. Good morning to you. Glad to have you with us this morning. We're going to miss you. Tammy was watching this morning. She knows that I'm taking some days off. I will probably, Tammy, is if I'm home, I'll continue to do the at-home updates. I may not be on television, but if I'm sitting here at the house, I might as well be doing something. And if that something can be working for you, that's great. Viola Jenkins joins us this morning from Houston. Thanks, Viola. Appreciate that. Also a question this morning. Kenneth Haynes writes, what about students that come from other counties to your child's school when their county's COV is high and they are not? Yeah, there are a lot of questions that are going to have to be answered. I think you're absolutely right about that, and a lot of possibilities that can happen. Drew says, one of my friends has the virus now, doesn't know where he could have contracted it. That's a problem that a lot of people have that get it. They don't know where they got it. And, there are a lot of silent spreaders, people who are asymptomatic, that don't look sick, don't act sick, but they do have the virus. Also, I'm going to encourage you this morning, go read some of the stories that are popping up now, especially from people epidemiologists that are saying it looks like now that we may have an aerosol spread, which instead of being on the contact, it's actually the droplets hanging in the air. I'm not going to try to dive into it here with about 60 seconds left, but I just want to tell you that might be something you want to go look. Elena Sims watching from Albuquerque. Well, thank you for joining us this morning. I had one more that I wanted to get to real quick. I saw that we had somebody actually watching from Thailand. Here it is this morning. Punsak from Thailand. Thanks for watching. I'm not sure why you would be watching, but I do appreciate it, and I appreciate your jumping in and commenting this morning as well. All right, that's it. I mean, I pushed it to the max here. I've got to go and take care of some things, other places in the house. Do me a favor, hit me with a like, if you will, just to let us know that you appreciate the broadcast and that we'll keep bringing it to you. And of course, also so that I can give it to the bosses and show that I wasn't skipping out. I was really working when I got home. All right, that just does it for for me. And again, I'm sorry for the brevity this morning, but I promise that tomorrow, and I will be here tomorrow, even though I may not be on television, I will be here with you on our Facebook live stream. Be safe, be careful, and we will talk again soon, all right? But go out and make it a terrific day. And again, thanks for taking the time.